Hey everyone, happy Friday. The sun is out. I'm telling you, every Friday, the sun comes out at noon for these chats. Anyway, I am really excited because today I have Andrea Brown with us, and she is the owner of Pay It Safe. And what I love about Andrea is she talks about her business as financial fitness. And for any of you who know me, I'm a fitness guru. So, Andrea, welcome. Let's talk about getting fit financially.
Thank you, Betsy. Happy to be here with you today.
Thank you. Thank you. So, I know you're a money manager, but you also help people. Let's talk about this first. You help people understand their budgets. And I think this is so important because, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think most people don't have a budget. Most people don't know why they should have a budget. They're like out to lunch. So
absolutely. That's a good place to start. I think for all of us, we have a budget, meaning we have money that comes in and money that goes out. And it's really a question of getting a handle on it and understanding how much is coming in, where are we spending it, are we saving enough? Are there ways that we could change our spending that would be better aligned with what we intend? Sometimes we might be spending money in places that we don't really want to, but we're not aware of it. So there are a lot of different ways that we can get a handle on our spending. And that's a large part of what I do with clients. Is sometimes it's a money management tool like online, whether it's Quicken or Personal Capital or Mint, that captures all of your cash flows, your income in, your spending out, your savings to different accounts, and helps you get a picture of where all your funds are going.
And then would you set that up for people? Would you help them set that up?
Absolutely. And you don't have to be that technologically savvy to do it. You do have to have online access and set up a portal to your bank and your credit card so these flows can get captured. But all of these sites have security built in. And I give as much or as little guidance as people need, both on the technical side to get the app set up and flowing, as well as understanding how to look at where your spending is and how to make changes if you want to. And even for those of us who have plenty of income and spend less than we make, it's still important to know where you're spending and make sure it lines up with your values and your priorities.
I think that's great. And I love your fitness, what do you call this? But equating it to fitness, because it's the same thing. It's like using a food app. And, we all eat and we all like maybe count these calories in our head. Mm-hmm. But when you write it down, you really see what you're eating and what kind of calories you're eating. It could be cookies all day. And
it's very similar. That's a great analogy because we're often not taught how to be financially fit and how to capture and understand all of our financial accounts and flows and things. And we're also not always taught how to eat healthy, right? We need to learn this. And so a lot of this information is available in books and online. And a lot of us get overwhelmed. We're not comfortable seeking out that information. So I work one-on-one with people and help them feel safe and comfortable learning this and getting a handle on it.
That is great. And you also talk about planning, which is another thing, financial planning. So, it's not that you're telling people where to invest their money.
No.
But people do not plan anymore. So that's another.
There's also the planning is a really good example of another service that I offer. And as you say, don't tell them how to invest their money. I'm not a financial advisor. But I do tell people, make sure you're maximizing your savings to your 401k and maximizing the match. Do you have long-term goals? Do you have a 529? That's a college savings plan set up. If not, I can direct you to places you can get that set up. To help people understand insurance and taxes and debt and credit cards and how all of these pieces of our financial life fit together and impact other areas of us and can give us really more freedom to do the things that we want, right? Like everything costs money. I just help people understand a little more how that fits in and how to plan for it and understand it And, in some cases, people have a credit card and maybe they carry a little bit of a balance and they pay a lot in interest every month. Well, I can help you figure out a way to pay, in most cases, figure out how to pay credit card debt. And you can redirect the money you were spending on interest to somewhere else. Maybe you save it. Maybe it goes to pay down student loans. I can work with people on those kinds of financial elements, steps, keeping in mind where my line is before a financial advisor. And that's not what I do. And I don't provide those services.
No, but you're not going to get to a financial advisor if you have no money, because it's helter skelter. You don't. And I think especially now that everything is so complex and you're paying for everything is overwhelming. And I think that is the key. I know you work with a lot of senior clients, but also younger clients as well. And
right, all these things. So we have subscriptions, right? Like a lot of people have a subscription to HBO Max or Showtime or Netflix or Hulu. So, right, we have all these subscriptions, and maybe we don't realize how much we're spending every month on that. And by looking at this in total, you can see, oh, I'm spending more than I want to. Maybe I don't need all of these streaming services. And a lot of bills only come online. They don't like to send them in paper form anymore. And sometimes they encourage you to pay online, and it can be overwhelming for people. So I can also help them set up, both through the vendors and through their bank, a way to get their bills paid in a online automatic setting. You still will always see the statements and what you're paying for, but you won't pay your bills late. You won't have to write a check. You won't have to, make sure you have stamps in your house, those kinds of things. Right. And for seniors in particular, all these things can become overwhelming. And there's also a group I work with, women in transition, right? Maybe getting divorced or maybe suddenly widowed, and they hadn't done the financial bill paying and such in their homes. It can be overwhelming. So I can help them get organized and get a system in place.
That's great, because I personally was a little shocked that still exists. It does, even among my age group, that they just never did it. And not that they're not capable, but somebody just took charge, and then all of a sudden we're in a different world where you're not balancing a checkbook the old way. And
or in addition, it could be that you as the spouse don't know all of the financial assets that your household has, right? Maybe there's bonds that you didn't know about, or some stock investment account that you didn't know about, or you don't know where it is, or you're not a signer on it, and then it's harder to access. So there's a lot of tools and steps and checklists that I offer clients to make sure that they're sort of financially secure and prepared in case something happens, right? Maybe we're happily married and we're both healthy and we're going to live for another 30 years. Hopefully we're all, at least, right, depending on our age. But sometimes life doesn't work that way, and it's best to be prepared in advance so that these aren't things you're scrambling to get a handle on when you're already experiencing some other emotional, challenges around a change in situation.
Absolutely. And you also talk about categorizing, and that's something that if you're not financially savvy, everything could be in it's like throwing all your clothes in one pile. So you take care of that as well.
Right. So a lot of these money management apps let you set a target amount for each of these categories in each month. So maybe you want to go out to dinner with your friends, but you want to limit your spending. So you can set a target of, I only want to spend $250 a month. Well, these apps will tell you in real time, based on the charges that flow through the site, how much you've spent on restaurants. So if mid-month you've already spent that target, you might think twice before you go out to dinner. Or you'll realize you need to go out to dinner at less expensive places so you don't reach that goal or that limit as early in the month. It just gives you more information to change your own behavior to be more in line with what you want it to be.
Yeah, and I think Amazon is a great one of those. I think we all spend a lot of money on Amazon. And then if you get this notice that says, okay, you just spent $2,000 on Amazon, you'll be like, whoa, like you're clicking away.
Yes.
And one could get in trouble with that. So
that's an excellent point, right? It's become so easy to purchase things online. It doesn't feel real. We use our credit card. We click a few buttons.
Click.
Yeah. But then, right, we all pay the piper at some point, whether we're aware of it in real time or it comes too late and we get maybe this credit card bill that we can't pay in full. That becomes very expensive because most people don't even know what their credit card charges them in interest. It's always on your statement, but you have to look. And what happens is if you don't pay your statement bill in full, the interest that accrues goes back to the date that you purchased those items. So if you bought something at the beginning of your credit card cycle and you don't pay it off in full, your interest accrues from the date you purchased it. And that can add up fast.
That is exactly something that people don't know. I bet if you did that average guy on the street, not a clue. I mean, I personally didn't even know about that it goes back to the day you purchased it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, we have to know so many things in our lives that and the way the credit card companies work is probably they've got this all figured out that they put, well, this is your minimum. And then people think, well, that's what they have to pay.
Mm-hmm. That's an excellent point. And that's how people can get into credit card debt and really into trouble. And maybe you can pay more, but you think you don't have to, but you're really digging yourself a bigger hole. That's an excellent point if you don't pay your statement balance in full. And I would say if you can't pay it in full, you need to adjust what you're putting on your credit card because that's not a good place to borrow money, which is in effect what you'd be doing.
Exactly. And I think, what I'm just sitting here listening to you, Andrea, it's like you are a fitness coach because, we all know how to go in the gym and do something. We can go outside and we can run. Everybody knows how to do it. But by having somebody that keeps you accountable, that you can talk to about it, that is going to be checking up on you, that is going to hold your hand, that makes it, a lot more manageable. I can see where you really add the security to somebody to like, okay, because it's not going to be easy.
Right.
I mean, unless they have more money, unless somebody's hiring you that has, just millions and millions of dollars and just saying, pay my bills.
Right.
When you're in this, well, maybe I shouldn't be doing that. It's not so easy.
It's not. And I really try to be non-judgmental with my clients. I'm not there to judge anyone. I'm there to help them get more information on their own habits and patterns and figure out how they might want to change it. Having said that, if I see things that seem unnecessarily high, I will bring it up, not in a judgmental way, but simply to make them aware. Are you aware that this is how much you're spending and maybe you could spend less here and still get what you're looking for? And most people appreciate that.
I would say because, I'm sure when you deal with your clients, you say, well, what is it that you want? Mm-hmm. And let's get you there, which is the same thing. I mean, I do,
right.
I don't care where you live, but let's figure out what you want and let's follow the steps to get you where you want. So if somebody's trying to save for vacation.
That's a great analogy, right? Where you and I together are both trying to help our clients accomplish their own goals. We help them maybe identify what they are and then help them figure out steps that they might not be aware of in how to achieve those goals.
Right. And hold their hand to get through it because it's never easy. These things are not easy. And the more complicated our world becomes and the more information that is, I feel like we're in this information, everything is getting thrown at us, that it helps to have somebody just sort of help us navigate through that.
Who doesn't want someone with a little more experience and knowledge in that area giving us guidance on what are the right steps to take with no pressure and no judgment? Right,
because the cost of a mistake is going to be far greater than whatever your fee is. I mean,
absolutely. That's an excellent point. Thank you for bringing that up.
Yes, because credit card errors are huge. And all of a sudden, these people could be in these,
And
disastrous 25% every month on top of.
Absolutely. And especially seniors who are more vulnerable to fraud and less likely to capture it. I review credit card statements and make sure that all the charges, I do as much or as little as people need. But with my seniors, I review their bills, their credit card charges, and make sure that they're all accurate and what the client actually spent. And if not, I help them get it reversed and resolved. And, credit cards provide fraud protection. So if you didn't charge it, you're not responsible.
Right.
But you have to identify that to be able to not pay it.
Right. That is great. And that especially anybody that has a loved one out there that needs help with this, because this for seniors is something that can turn into a giant jumble of piles of paper and paying things they shouldn't pay, missing things they should be paying.
Absolutely.
So
all
call
those
Andrea.
And a lot of times people don't want their relatives or the kids don't want to do it. And that's good. Have a third party. I'm not a relative. I'm just someone to come in and help alleviate that burden.
And I think that's a really good point, because having a relative do that very often could add to another piece of drama.
Yes, good point.
So,
Seeing that myself as have you, I'm sure.
Yes. So just stick with the professionals. You're not emotionally involved. You're just trying to help the person get to their end goal.
Exactly right, Betsy.
So, and if someone wants to just talk to you, and I'm sure you'll talk to anybody and explain your fees and how,
absolutely. And happy to consult first, help you figure out if I'm the type of help that you need. If I'm not, I'll help you figure out where to go. I mean, I'm in this to help my clients, be safe and fit financially. And I'm happy to talk to anyone who thinks I might be of help.
Fabulous. That's great. Well, thank you so much for taking the time today. I so appreciate it. And I want to wish everybody a happy weekend. And we'll see you again soon.
Thanks, Betsy.
Bye.